Hello everyone, it is Mrs. Red here from Mrs. Red's, and we are going to be having a look at what is inside the September 19 Red's Art Cart. Doing things a little bit differently with this video. I've decided that I'll actually open the contents, so when you become a subscriber to the art cart you will receive your box like this, and it will just have a postage label on it. So how about we have a look at what is inside the September 19 Red's Art Cart. Okay, so I've panned in a little bit further now just to reveal this, because obviously the contents inside is going to be a bit smaller. So we open up our cart, and the first thing that all the art carters will find is their first clue as to what's inside the box. And this is the information card. So this is the artwork that the supplies that are inside the cart have been done with, and on the flip side you have the actual products that are being used, a bit of information about them, how much they are, and if they're available or not from the Mrs. Red's art shop as well. And then a little bit of information down the bottom is always there, just saying about this video and when you're hashtagging or joining the Facebook group. Put that aside. So this is always sort of like to keep the secret still there, wondering what's inside. We'll remove that, and there we go. So we have got a Brusho month going on. Every cart has got 3 of the little Brusho powders. Don't want to call them paints, they turn into paints, but yeah, powder. We've got a black brush marker, 4 metallic pens, little spray bottle for the Brusho. This is the little social media card, so this is what you stick into your photographs when you're uploading to social media, just so that people know that that's the contents from the cart, and some beautiful watercolour paper. So what we'll do is we'll go through the contents in a little bit more detail now. Alright, so in detail, what have we got here? I'm going to leave the Brusho till last, because we're actually going to do a demonstration with the Brusho. So we'll start with, this is the actual artwork here that, that everyone got their example from. So we'll start with the 2 pens. The Pigma Micron, sorry, it's not a Pigma Micron, it is a Sakura Pigma pen, similar to the Micron ones. I've got a Micron one here. So this is the Pigma Micron. These ones come in, there's about 8 different weights plus brushes, and they come in all different colours as well. The difference with this one, obviously the case that they're carried in, but this one comes in it's a brush pen, and it comes in a fine, medium and a bold. Everyone is receiving the medium tip, and it is the brush pen. But just like the Pigma Microns, they are archival ink, meaning that they're not going to fade or turn a sepia, khaki colour. They are waterproof as well. So this has gone down before the Brusho. So I did the design in black pen, in this pen. The medium weight was lovely to use because I could still get quite a fine line going on, like we've got here, and then be able to colour in lines as well. So they're really nice. So I've got all 3 weights in the Mrs. Red's art shop. So with your the metallic pens that we've got here, don't need to really do an example of these. They are your decorative pens, gel pens. So they can be used on white paper or black paper or any colour paper actually. It was a bit of a test to see whether or not they were going to accept the Brusho paint underneath. But because Brusho is very similar to, say, a watercolour paint, they would go down on top of the Brusho. They just preferred to go down over the black pen instead though. But I don't know if you can see the metallicness of them in there. A lot of fun to use, and yeah, they say they're this gel grip pen. It's because they've got a grip there for your hand. They're lovely to use. I love them. So they worked really well on top of that Brusho as well. All right, so now also might just quickly say the watercolor paper that everyone's receiving. Oh, this isn't a full pad, this is my pad. So that has been done on the Fabriano paper. So this one is your hot press GSM, 200 GSM, and I think it's 12 sheets of that. So it's quite a smooth watercolor paper, as opposed to the cold press, which has got that bit more texture involved in it. So really nice watercolor paper to use, and it says that it's more student grade paper as well, so it's not like mega expensive, but definitely performs very well. Okay, so let's get on with a bit of an example on the Brusho. Alright, so before we get into the Brusho, I just forgot about the water, the little spray bottle that is also included. So no explanation needed. Fill it up with water, and we will be demonstrating how we've used with the Brusho. So when it comes to Brusho, it is a pigment powder, very similar to watercolor in the effect that it gives. And there are several ways that you can actually apply Brusho. You can use a brush and you can sprinkle the Brusho into a palette and then put a wet brush in, mix it up. You can sprinkle it onto paper and then put a wet brush over it, and it will turn into a watercolor. The way I've done it here, and it is in the video that supports this video, it was sprinkled down and then the spray bottle being used. So there's no brush that's been used in this artwork. That's not to say that you don't use a brush when it comes to Brusho, because like I said, there's many ways that you can use Brusho. So good idea to maybe get on YouTube. Well, obviously you're on YouTube because you're watching this video, and just search Brusho, other ways of using Brusho, and you'll be able to see there. Now the other thing in regards to Brusho is the colour of the pigment. So it doesn't always look like what you think it would be. So scarlet here, there's a bit of dust on the top there. Does not look very scarlety, and we're going to give you a bit of an example here. So this is one I did for the photo shoot. This is lime green. There's the lime green there. However, actually I might just get my artwork out of the way. However, when I open this one up, and I don't recommend anyone opens these up, just keep them like that. But for the purpose of the exercise, I did open it up. And there is the colour of lime green. So very, very different. And you'll see this in the art shop for the photographs that I've taken of Brusho for sale. Okay, another thing to bear in mind, and what I just touched on with this, is there's no need to actually undo these, because you're never going to use a lot of it. They're not designed for that. However, until these guys actually come up with a system where you can take the lid off and be able to shake, you have to actually put your own holes into it. Now I've used a paper clip and pierced the holes. Not the easiest way, but another way I did see was using, you know, those thumbtacks that you can buy that have a little holding piece on them. They usually come in different colours. They are great. You can just pierce it in and leave that little thumbtack in the top there, and that way, if you're on the move, let's say, and your Brusho tips over, none of the dust is actually going to come out of the holes. I don't have that happening with mine because I didn't see it in time before I'd already pierced my little holes. And yeah, and I just did it with a paper clip because that's what I had around. All right, so let's get started on this. I don't know if these colours were the ones that I used in this example, but they're the ones that we're going to be using. So there we go. Okay, so like I think I just mentioned, yes, there is different ways that you can use the Brusho, and have a look at some other YouTube videos for that. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is putting down the Brusho first and then the spray, and then I think we'll do on this one, we'll put some spray down first and then put some Brusho down afterwards. Now this one has a little bit of the lime green still on it, so it will react as soon as we put that down. All right, so fill your little bottle with, no, we're doing this one first. So I have, what have I got there? There's 4 little holes in there for the blue. We'll tip that one out there. Now we're also going to add some olive green. Don't know how well you can actually see this, it's pretty fine. And also some scarlet. Now that just looks like dust, so I don't know if I can, there we go. And you can see that it's very, very fine dust. You wouldn't want to be doing this in an open area where there's a breeze. And then we just get our little spray bottle and pretty much try and angle it down. So this is going to be out of view, but we'll do that. Oh, and I forgot to take my piece of paper down. So in the example of this one, I have actually taped the watercolour paper down to the table with some washi tape, which worked perfectly and it didn't tear the sides or anything. So this is going to peel up. Now I'm going to start giving it a little bit more water now because I want it to spread. Look at that colour. Now the other thing I did, which I forgot to, hang on, I just have to get, is some paper towel. Oh, pardon me. Paper towel to actually, disaster. So with the paper towel, yes, it's going to actually decrease the intensity of your colours. And you can let this dry by itself and it will dry like that. If you put the paper towel to it, it's actually going to blend it out a little bit more as well. Try and keep your paper towel nice and clean for different colours. Now the other thing by wiping up the excess water with the paper towel is that you can actually go over the colours again if you want it to be a bit more intensive. I should have put some black pen down first just to prove my point that they are they're waterproof. Okay, so that's that there. Now let's experiment, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of this blue. I just want to see if it's going to, no it's not. So I'm just wanting to increase that colour of the blue. And I was thinking it might actually start reacting straight away because it's on a wet paper, but it didn't. Oop. So getting that. I'll just get a fresh piece of paper towel. Oh, that looks so nice. Love it. There we go. So there is one way of being able to use the Brusho. Very, very simple and so much fun. Now the other way you could do with the spray bottle is to actually wet the surface first. Now, remember this one was used as the example for a photo shoot. So I tipped out a bit of the lime green powder and it's actually still, there's still a little bit of residue of the powder dust sitting there. So as soon as I spray this, it is going to react, but then I'm just going to put another colour down onto the wet paper. This is a different paper too. I think this is a mixed media paper. So we've got all, hang on, I just want to get, there we go, and we'll go for the scarlet so we get a different, you can see that happening there. Woo! Beautiful. And what is interesting is it looks like it's actually picking up that ink that had dried, and it's actually going to start spreading it again. So there's your two ways of using the little spray bottle. You can either put the Brusho down first and then spray, or spray first and then put the Brusho in. And a lot of the Brusho colours, like the olive green, I might just spray a bit of olive green onto here, is always a multicoloured colour. So you can see there's a lot of blue in that multi. So that's actually confirming for me. This was the three colours that I used for the artwork. So it was cobalt blue, olive green and scarlet. And that's why you can get all those blues happening in there, because that's the olive green that's working. Now I've left that, so it's going to dry quite dark. So much fun. Imagine if I'd done a beautiful little doodling under that as well. Gorgeous. All right, so that is the contents of the September Reds art cart. I hope everyone has so much fun with it. This is probably one of my more favourite carts that I've put together. There's that example there again. All my carts I love putting together, but some of them I just can't wait for the art carters to be able to open up and explore and have fun with. So with this one, by all means, do some artworks and throw them onto social media, onto Instagram, Facebook, throw the little social media card into it, and let everyone know in regards to how much fun you're having with these art cards. All right, everyone, I look forward to seeing your results. And if you don't subscribe to the art cart and you want to, the details do follow at the end of this, but it's basically just visiting the art shop, which is mrsreds.com.au, and selecting the art carts, and then you can sign up. Anywhere in the world too, we don't have to be in Australia to have these carts. Lovely, thank you for your time, and go and enjoy your Brusho.